To everyone, welcome. I only get 3 to 5 minutes up here, so this won't be too strenuous for any of us. But thank you for staying through all this, and to everyone that's just like me wearing this whole thing after getting kicked off campus by Res Life and watching our basketball team fail year after year. And suffering through unpaid internship after unpaid internship. We finally graduated and we've made it, and now we can try to find unpaid jobs. But I must say, it's kind of bizarre to be up here. Through the description you can see that I'm not your hard news kind of person, so it's a little bit weird to be up here talking about the tenets of journalism. And if you know me, you know that I'm a lot better at being inappropriate than I am at being inspirational. I joked with a lot of my now fellow graduates about walking up here with a boombox and playing that song by Asher Roth, I Love College. Or bringing a cardboard box and doing like a how to make it your own personal living space. But I figured none of those would really go over well, so I'm just going to go with the traditional speech. It isn't really easy trying to be up here and be positive. I couldn't quite figure out how to be uplifting when we all know the economy is failing and the journalism industry is desperate, when publications is buried in a blender and the Seattle Post-Intelligencer have stopped publishing, and most importantly, when a lot of us don't have jobs yet. It's hard to think of the future without the news, but it seems more possible when people like scholar Robert G. Picard said journalists deserve low pay because we, quote, simply aren't creating much value these days. When the internet isn't making us the most money, and when cable news keeps on giving broadcast journalism a bad name, Bill O'Reilly, I am talking about you. But as much as I feel like standing on the edge of this cliff with everyone behind me and we're all like looking down into this abyss, I don't regret anything about my 4 years here, or my choice of a major, and I don't think most of these people behind me would either. I decided to be a journalist because I read the program, I watched All the President's Men a lot when I was in high school, and Robert Redford is a very handsome man. And because reading Hunter S. Thompson changed how I looked at politics, and reading Lester Bangs changed how I listened to music. Because having an actual newspaper in my hand and the weight of it and the ink smearing all over my hands and like ruining my breakfast bagel, that's infinitely better than scrolling through web pages. And because Rolling Stone was far better as a square publication than it is as that rectangle that it is now. People like Woodward, Bernstein, Gonzo, and Bangs are the reason that a lot of us got into journalism. To talk to new people, do something different every day, and potentially change the world. And I don't think any of us would alter what we've done in the past 4 years to continue along that chosen path. I know I look back on my time here and it's full of experiences that made me a better journalist. Listening to Bob Grover's grammar song and Journalism 202, for all of you that had that with me. Explaining hardcore and sneaker freakers to Carl Sessions' death when he was just trying to teach me how to write a better feature, and pointing out that I spelled my name wrong on one of my own assignments. And getting pulled out of David Lightman's Journalism 320 class on the first day, so he could tell me that working for the entertainment section of the Diamondback wasn't an excuse for showing up late to his 8 a.m. and then promptly falling asleep. The professors we've met at this university continue to inspire all of us to keep looking for that big story and digging for that next quote. And the kind of determination and perseverance are things that no unpaid internship or entry-level job starting at the poverty line can squash. As individuals, me and my fellow graduates have worked at the Diamondback, Unwind Magazine, The Eclipse, The Mitzvah, The Publication, and WNBC, and interned at the Washington Post-Express, the Los Angeles Times, American Journalism Review, National Geographic, the Baltimore Sun, NPR, and a whole plethora of local television affiliates, spending time in newsrooms where both cooperation and competition are second nature. We may have had to pay for university credits on top of those unpaid internships, and for that, out-of-state parent, I sympathize with you. But while it was getting us used to eating ramen and appreciating 25-cent rails before they became illegal, the time we spent in those places, they were really good. time we spent in those places also gave us experience in the real world that means a lot more than just a line on a resume. My friend Ben Johnson, who is now a physics graduate student at the university and was a pink editor of the Dime back a few years ago, once wrote that journalism students live a disposable existence, inking our souls on broadsheet day in and day out only for our work to eventually be forgotten. Things are undeniably changing, and as a class, we'll surely have to face lower wages and more responsibilities. J-School graduate Sarah Murray, who works at the Wall Street Journal now because she got out before it got really bad, just wrote a story about it. But after 4 years in those classrooms and in those newsrooms, I think we're going to be ready for it. We may have only had one multimedia class offered to us here, but I know that Best Buy has cameras on sale every weekend, so I can pick one up and teach myself. But in all seriousness, the skills that we've learned, persistence, punctuality, tenacity, never-ending curiosity, and a solid sense of self, have improved us as journalists, and are easily adaptable to any other profession, be it teaching, law, or that trade or public relations, if any of us chose to go down that path. And if we're not ready for the real world yet, there's always grad school, and I heard that they're still accepting applications.